So anyway people, how you going? This is Glenn back with some $5 Australian banknotes. So these are the paper banknotes that were first introduced in 1967. Now the reason why they introduced it in 1967, which was a year after the change over to decimal currency, was that there was no banknote that they actually had beforehand that corresponded to this one. So in the pre-decimal system, £1 equals $2. So for this one to have an equivalent in the pound system, it would have to be a £2.5 banknote, and that is generally not how it happened. I don't think there was ever a £2.5 banknote, unlike like in the Netherlands where they had the 2.5 gulden coin, and also they issued banknotes in 2.5 guldens every now and then. But their system was based on the 1, 2.5 and 5 system, in which the English system, the pound, was generally based on a 1, 2, 5 system. So that is why it was issued on the 20... what date was it issued? Anyway, so it's issued probably 28th of May, so I'm not too familiar with that date. So anyway, who is the person on this banknote? Well, it has Sir Joseph Banks, and Sir Joseph Banks, he was a botanist, so that is why he actually has a lot of plants. So we have like a lot of, there's a she oak, we have a lot of eucalypts and gum nuts, we have what they call a grass tree, there's grevillea, there's bottle brush, there's wattle. So it's a whole lot of plants that are grown in Australia. And actually when I was younger, I actually went to Note Printing Australia, and they actually had a garden with all these plants growing in it. And it's supposedly all the plants that he actually described in the scientific literature. So this guy was born in 1743 and he passed away in 1820. So next year will be 20 years since he passed away, so that's a long time to be not here. And he was only 77, so he's deceased a lot longer than he has been alive. But anyway, this is quite a nice banknote. This is actually one of my favourite Australian banknotes, and there's actually two different types of series. So this banknote's actually in very fine condition, and later on I'll get to the values of these banknotes that I have here, but I won't say values of any other banknotes that I don't have, because I prefer to have them in hand. So there are two different types of printing. So this one up the top is the Fraser Higgins banknote, and that's 1990, so issued from 1990 to 91. And the bottom one is the 1979 Night Stone issue. And as you can see, if you look at the actual colours, so look at the purples, and let me see if we can get it closer. So as you can see on the later one, the yellow is actually more yellow instead of an orangey colour, and on the earlier ones the purples are darker than on the later issue. And that makes a contrast. We have a really light colour here, really dark here, and I just like the issue that was issued in 1979. So I think they actually changed the colour around about 1983 print run. Do I have a stone? No I don't. But I think this is the last print one with actually this colour. It's actually quite nice. So, and the reverse is the same. So the watermark is Captain Cook, as you can see there. Let's see if we can get, so you can see Captain Cook, and he's actually on all of the banknotes. So the other side of the banknote has Mary Caroline Chisholm, and she was a humanitarian. She worked with female immigrants, so you can see females there, new immigrants that were actually coming to Australia. And you can see it says Family Colonisation Loan Society, originated by Miss Chisholm. So that was an organisation that made it easier for females to actually immigrate to Australia. And as you can see, the clothing is typical 18th century, because she was born in 1808 and passed away in 1877. And yeah, clothing is just really strange. You also have the sailing ships that they actually used to use in the early part of the 1800s, because by mid-century these were pretty much outdated and were being replaced by steam. So as you can see in the background, it's probably colonial Sydney, so it's not a bad banknote. And if we have a look at the other one, it has more striking colour resemblance, and if put them both together, you can see the colour differences. So yeah, there you go, you can see the colour differences in that. I prefer the previous colour scheme that they actually used. So till 1974 they actually had Commonwealth of Australia. In 1974 Gough Whitlam actually changed it to Australia, so that was more of a political thing than really anything else. That would have actually cost a bit to actually change it, because they would have had to alter the banknotes. So what are the prices of these banknotes? Well, I have two sequential series here of 1979. So there's 227 and 228. And these ones are actually pretty much uncirculated. That's why I got them in these plastic holders so you don't touch them. And in uncirculated, they have a book value of $55, but you can probably get them for a bit less. This is close to the last prefix, so that is PDT. That would have a value of about probably between $150 and $300 in uncirculated. So really get these banknotes uncirculated. So this one has a purchasing power now of $23. So really, if you're going to collect them, you collect them in probably extremely fine, which is has a book value $28, almost uncirculated $38, and this one uncirculated $55. But you can get them a bit less on eBay and all that. If you collect them in fine, you only get $10, and really, then you would have lost money if you collected these in 1979, as well as very fine, which is only $18. So you would have lost money. So really, it's not worth collecting fine to very fine banknotes unless they're a low print run. So then we have so let's go Johnson and Fraser. So this one's in extremely fine condition, because I don't see any folds. I only got these today, so anyway, I don't see any folds, and it is OCRB serial number, which actually makes it worth a little bit less. Gothic's actually worth a bit more. So in extremely fine, it is valued at book value $25. You could probably get it less, but the purchasing power value is about $15. So $5 in 1985 can buy $15 of items now. So really, the very fine condition banknotes is worth $15. So you would just break even if you could sell it. And the fine banknotes, which are pretty used up, it's only worth $10. So really not worth keeping. So that is the value of that banknote. And the last one we have is a Fraser Higgins, and this is a 1990 series, so 29 years ago this was issued. As you can see, it has a little bit of a die mark there. There's not really much of an error, not really worth worrying about as far as I know. And this one's in extremely fine, as a book value 25, but you can probably get it for like 15, probably $15 as well. Uncirculated, about $45 book value, and with inflation, this has a purchasing power of about $10 now. So in 29 years, prices have doubled, although some prices have actually doubled more, like gas and electricity, and some have gone down, like phone costs. So in fine condition, it's only worth $10, so you would have made your money back, but as time goes on, you'll probably find that in fine condition banknotes would actually lose value. So in the longer term, if you're going to keep banknotes for like 40 or 50 years, just get high grade ones, unless it's a low print one and you know that. Like, I don't know, the 2014 $5, which actually was never issued. So anyway, I hope you like these banknotes. They're actually quite nice. I'm actually still trying to find out what all these plants are that are on the banknote. And anyway, paper banknotes, awesome. And the older ones are actually worth a lot more than these ones. So anyway, I'd like to say thank you very much for watching my video. I'll put a link down below in eBay. It's an affiliate link, so I can actually bring you more content. And have an awesome banknote collecting time, people. Thank you, and bye bye.